Monroe City, Missouri is a small town located in the northeastern part of the state, spanning 3 counties, Monroe, Marion, and Rawls. Known for its charming rural atmosphere, Monroe City serves as a gateway to outdoor recreation, particularly Mark Twain Lake, a popular destination for fishing, boating, and camping. The town is rich in small-town charm, with a friendly community and a history rooted in agriculture. It also boasts proximity to Hannibal, the boyhood home of Mark Twain, adding cultural and historical significance to the area. Monroe City was home to 16-year-old John Wade Wagner, the middle child of livestock farmer and Army veteran Luther Wagner and Anne Maxine Fessenden, both of Palmyra, Missouri. Born on June 27, 1951, John had an older sister, Peggy, and a younger brother, Mark. Not much is known about the Wagner family. However, it's stated on multiple obituaries that they were all avid baseball fans, especially of the St. Louis Cardinals, and enjoyed attending ball games in Philadelphia together. John's parents were also members of the local Baptist church. The family lived on a farm in Palmyra, primarily working alongside cattle, but also harvesting grains. The Wagners were hard-working and well-liked. On February 17, 1968, 16-year-old John Wagner decided to give his younger brother, 14-year-old Mark, a lift to a school dance in Monroe City, approximately 21 miles southwest of their family farm in Palmyra. They arrived at the venue at approximately 8 p.m, and Mark departed for the dance. Later that same evening, following the festivities, Mark awaited for his brother's return to collect him and take him home. However, as time passed, it became apparent that John wasn't coming. This was highly irregular and very out of character for the 16-year-old. John was never seen or heard from again. According to multiple newspaper articles published following his disappearance, including the Mexico Ledger, the Kansas City Times, and the Daily Standard, John was last seen at an ice cream parlor in Monroe City itself. However, it's unclear if this particular sighting was ever verified. John's family grew increasingly concerned following his unexplained disappearance, and a chilling discovery was made the following day, which did little to ease their concerns for the 16-year-old. On February 18th, John's vehicle, a pickup truck, was found abandoned in an alleyway off of Main Street in Monroe City, with his keys, coat, and gloves still present inside. Where the vehicle was discovered was just a short distance away from the local high school and middle school, where it's likely the dance was taking place the night prior. Extensive searches of the area were conducted to find John, within Monroe City and out with assistance from the sheriff's office and private search teams. However, no trace of the teenager was found. John's parents appealed to the public for assistance, including other farmers, urging them to check their properties and caves for any sign of John. Once again, sadly, their efforts yielded no results. The Wagner family did all they could to search for John, searching other farmland, ponds, and wells, but found nothing. John's disappearance had a profound impact on his family, according to his sister Peggy, who told KHQA that following his vanishing, this was the very first time that she had ever seen her father cry. The sheriff at the time, Dean Mason, told the media, quote, "We have no reason to suspect that he met with foul play, but there are so many rumours that each one has to be checked out." What the sheriff meant by rumours was that word got around the area that John had gotten into an altercation with a local boy, where they allegedly fought over a girl. During the altercation, it was claimed that John perhaps fell and hit his head, with his body later being disposed of, possibly being burned beyond recognition with old junk cars, or with his remains being fed to hogs. These stories have never been verified, there is no credence to them, and at this stage are purely speculative, as there is no evidence to suggest that any of these claims are factual in any way. Were there witnesses to this alleged altercation, and did they come forward to police at the time, or did cruel local rumours simply get out of hand? According to the Mexico Ledger, 2 young men were given polygraph tests at Highway Patrol Troop B headquarters. However, the results of these tests were never revealed to the public. It's unknown if these individuals were associated with John or with his disappearance. Perhaps the 2 young men in question were underage, therefore their names could not be released to the public, nor whether they had passed the tests. The 2 men who were persons of interest at the time were both questioned once again in the year 2000 regarding John's vanishing, but were notably uncooperative with the authorities, refusing point blank to assist their investigation. Sergeant Regina Webb of the Marion County Sheriff's Department said, quote, "We got the most information from the family. We re-interviewed a lot of people. Some people we believe were persons of interest refused to speak to us after all these years and refused to cooperate. I think that was telling within itself." At the time, many believed that John's disappearance could have been linked to the Lost Boys of Hannibal, where 3 young boys, Billy Hogue, Joey Hogue, his brother, and their friend Edwin Craig Dowell, vanished whilst venturing into a cave in nearby Hannibal in May of 1967. However, authorities told the public that there was no connection between the 2 cases. Unfortunately, in this particular case, there is little to no evidence to work with. It's unclear if any substantial evidence was found in John's pickup truck other than his belongings, or in the nearby vicinity. Did he carry a wallet with him, and did it contain money? Was robbery a motive, or something else? If an altercation had occurred, there would have been some sort of evidence to indicate this, possibly blood, clothing fibres, etc., and perhaps even more crucially, witnesses, especially if the alleged fight had occurred in a public place. The timeline of events leading up to and following John's disappearance remains a baffling mystery. Thus far, no John Doe has been matched to John Wagner. However, his DNA and fingerprints are available for comparison. Sadly, John's parents, Luther and Anne, and both of his siblings, Mark, a construction worker, and Peggy, a coroner and latterly a nurse, have since passed away without ever knowing what fate befell John. Prior to her death, both Peggy and her father Luther told KHQA News that they weren't looking to prosecute anyone. Peggy stated that all she wanted to know was where her brother was, so that her family could bury him and have some closure. Quote, "We have no desire to put these people in jail. I'm sure if they have any conscience at all, I'm sure they suffered. They would have had to, unless they don't have any feelings." Their father Luther added, quote, "I'd just like somebody to come forward and come out in the open and tell us, who knew about what happened, and we'd close it." The Wagner family are all buried at Greenwood Cemetery in Palmyra, Marion County, Missouri, with a headstone also erected in memory of John, despite him never being found. His remaining relatives continue to search for answers and for justice to this day. At the time of his disappearance in February of 1968, John Wade Wagner was 16 years of age. He is described as a Caucasian male with brown hair and blue eyes, standing at 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighing approximately 130 pounds. He most notably had a scar on his abdomen, described as being shaped like a tic-tac-toe. On the day he vanished, Wagner was wearing a tan and orange plaid shirt, a pair of tan-coloured jeans, and a pair of brown dress shoes. His case is classified as endangered missing. If alive today, John Wagner would be 73 years old. Those with any information regarding the disappearance of John Wade Wagner are urged to contact Marion County Sheriff's Office at 573 769 2077.